so my senior year of high school, I had the best teacher. His name was Mr. Farley. He was just so engaging, always pushed me to do my best. He was a white teacher at a inner city school where like half the teachers left after the first semester because he was really long. But he just really had a passion for teaching. I just appreciated him so much. However, when it came to teaching and getting into the subject of slavery and the civil rights movement and the Civil War, there was much to be desired, just like all my other teachers that I had had in the past. And I couldn't really get mad at him for this because he was just teaching what he had been taught. I remember, in fact, when it came to the Civil War, he told us that if we said that slavery was the main cause of the Civil War, that we would actually get that answer wrong on the test. But again, he was just teaching what he had been taught to teach, because we live in a nation where the curriculum is focused around this idea of American exceptionalism, and anything that doesn't fall in line with that idea or any part of our history that doesn't make America seem so exceptional is intentionally watered down or just completely left out. And the reason for this is because obviously they want to maintain patriotism and whatnot, but the effects have really been detrimental socially. And one of the results is there are a number of images that are extremely offensive that are still in circulation today and not only accepted but even appreciated, commemorated, whatever you have it, because people don't know the full significance of those images. And I could go into a number of them, from the celebration of Columbus Day to the different forms of appropriation, cultural appropriation, and those effects. But today I'm going to be talking about the history of the Confederate flag and the significance of that image, and also giving a brief history on the Civil War. And so the Confederate flag is something that I know I definitely never talked about. Well, my classes never talked about when I was coming up, which is something that you knew that existed. You never really spoke on it. I have several friends that own Confederate flags. They're not racist, not horrible people, but simply, just like all the rest of us that are probably in here, we just haven't been informed about its history. And most people's justification for supporting the Confederate flag is that it's heritage, not hate. They have it printed on shirts and coffee mugs, and you'll see it a lot of people, especially if you go to Myrtle Beach. But this is that it's heritage, not hate. And there's kind of two arguments behind this saying. And so there's the group of people that say it's heritage, not hate, because they believe that the Civil War didn't have much to do with slavery. And then there's people that believe that it's heritage, not hate, because the flag had nothing to do with the Civil War. So on the first point, kind of looping back to my teacher, who said that if we said that slavery was the main cause of the Civil War, that we would get that answer wrong. Remember, he actually gave us 7 reasons that we had to use on the test to say the cause for the Civil War, and we had to memorize these reasons, and these were the reasons for the Civil War. And those reasons were industrial North, agrarian South, the Cotton Gin, the Missouri Compromise, the Compromise of 1850, the Kansas-Nebraska Act, John Brown's Revolt, and then the election of 1860. And so if you look at it kind of in a, a concept circle? Are y'all seeing this? A circle. And so then in the middle of the circle you have tensions between the North and the South. And so slavery is a branch off of that, and then Missouri Compromise, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's how he taught it. But if you were to look at it objectively, really at the center of that concept circle should be slavery, and all of the things that branch off of that are really reasons. And for example, industrial North, agrarian South. Well, the North had industry, and that's what they used to make a profit. And then the South had agriculture, and agriculture is farming. And farming, you need workers, and those workers were enslaved persons. So again, pointing back to slavery. But the cotton gin, this increased the productivity in which cotton was produced. And then since that was increased, then you needed more people to pick the cotton. Therefore, you needed more enslaved persons to pick the cotton. Then when it comes to the Missouri Compromise, the Compromise of 1850, the Kansas-Nebraska Act, all of it had to do with free states versus slave states versus, using popular sovereignty to determine whether or not to be a free state versus a slave state. Again, slavery. Then the John Brown Revolt, that had to do with an abolitionist that led a revolt because he was opposed to slavery. And the election of 1860, we all know how that went with the election of Abraham Lincoln, wrote the Emancipation Proclamation, et cetera, et cetera. And so when looking at it like that, you see that all of those things really do link to slavery. So the first argument that the Civil War had nothing to do with slavery is obviously invalid. And so the second part of the it's heritage not hate argument is that, well, it's heritage not hate because the flag didn't have anything to do with the Civil War. So even if the Civil War did have something to do with slavery, you know, the flag has been around for such a long time, and it's a part of our heritage, and it's a part of our history, and it's who we are. And that is a great point to make if that was true, that the flag was a part of Southern heritage. But the flag actually didn't even exist until 1861 at the very beginning of the Civil War, and it was created as a battle flag for the Civil War. So there was no Confederate flag for the South that represented the South before the actual war began. So the argument that it was heritage is also invalid. But the argument itself is something that, you know, you can see making a bunch of sense if you don't have any of the facts, which you don't, because our education system doesn't teach us these facts, which is why education is so important. And so there are people that, you know, are in full support of the Confederate flag, and then there are people, like many people I'm sure in this room, that are kind of like, well, you know, like the Confederate flag, you know, Silent Sam, like all those things. Like, I'm not crazy about it, but like they exist, and they, you know, commemorate people that died for something that they believed in. And, you know, whether or not it was, you know, great that they died fighting to keep slavery, they died for something that they loved, like that they believed was right, and they fought honorably. Which is a valid argument to make. However, it is not so true that the South fought honorably for this cause that was dishonorable. And the example that I will use to back this claim is the Battle of Fort Pillow in Tennessee on April 12, 1864. And in this battle, the South won, and then the North went to surrender to them. And as the North was surrendering, the South then separated the African American soldiers from the Union soldiers, and then proceeded to massacre 300 African American soldiers after they had already surrendered. And so it's a good argument to say that they fought honorably, but as after hearing this information, you can see that not only did they not fight for an honorable cause, but they didn't even follow the basic rules of war in terms of allowing soldiers to surrender and become prisoners of war, because they said that they did not take Negro prisoners. So aside from all of that, going into the history of the people who even made the Confederate flag shows that some of the claims that are made that the Confederate flag has nothing to do with racism, are also invalid. So the two people that made the Confederate flag are William Porcher Miles and William Tappan Thompson. William Porcher Miles made the first design of the Confederate flag, and when he made it, he said that he believed that slavery was a divine institution. And the second person that made the Confederate flag, the version that we all know today, and the flag that's kind of circulated that you see like in the backs of people's cars, is William Tappan Thompson. And he co-founded the Savannah Morning News, and he used his platform as the co-founder of the Savannah Morning News to advocate for the design of the Confederate flag. And when he was advocating, he said, and I quote, "As a people, we are fighting to maintain the heaven-ordained supremacy of the white man over the inferior colored race. A white flag would thus be emblematical of our cause. Such a flag would soon take rank amongst the proudest ensigns of the nation and be hailed by the civilized world as the white man's flag." And then once they finally adopted his design of the Confederate flag, he then goes on to say, "As a national emblem, it is significant of our higher cause, the cause of the superior race, and a higher civilization contending against ignorance, infidelity, and barbarism." So there are clearly links between the flag and racism, and these ideologies have been passed down through this symbol. However, as a nation, we are unconscious of our own racism because of the lack of education that we have. And other countries don't have this issue. In places like Germany, which we all know the history of Germany, the swastika and other like Nazi-related symbols are actually banned. And if you are in a public area and you even begin to put your hand up in a Hitler salute, you could be punished to up to 3 years in prison. And the reason why they have these rules is because they are fully conscious and aware of their history, and they know the traumatic significance that these images have had on millions and millions of people that we as Americans don't fully understand about our own history. And I say all this to say that education is key, not only just putting pressure on the education systems to fully inform us of our history, but just really taking initiative and informing ourselves. We have a privilege as Americans to so much information, And we need to use that privilege to inform ourselves not only on our history, but on different cultures and different lifestyles. There's a quote by Maya Angelou that says, if you don't know better, then you can't do better. But once you know better, then do better. And I truly believe that if we were all to become informed, we would have a greater ability to empathize and that we can move together rather than live divided.